navigate into a new career field expediently and more efficiently. Welcome to the IT Auditor's Playbook Virtual Mentor Series.
IT audit wasn't my plan at all. And I started out the help desk route, taking calls, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And then I moved into a data center engineer type of role. In that role, I got introduced to next generation firewalls, specifically the FortiGate. And the role required that I learn a bit more about firewalls. And so Fortinet, they've got a lot of training on the FortiGate firewall, and I went through a bunch of training. I did like NSE 1, then I did NSE 2, then I did NSE 3. Now, up until this point, I had already earned CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, Cisco, CCNA, Route Switch, CCNA, Cyber Ops, a ton of Ruckus, wireless certifications, and just various other vendor certifications. So the firewall, although I hadn't been doing security, all through that telecom experience, I was exposed to different elements of security. And so like certain controls, right? Like I would enable certain security measures on a switch, certain security measures on a router, something like that. So after working as a firewall engineer, I moved into a role of, I worked in the power industry on a cybersecurity team. And the team I worked on was firewall. And so I did firewall compliance. And it wasn't what I intended to do or be, it's just that role was open. And they were looking to fill it pretty urgently. And I was open to it. And so I get into the role, and what I quickly learn is, compliance, you have to know enough about the systems. You have to know the system capability, the technical limitations, and then, the types of outputs that a system can provide, artifacts, if you will. And, I've always been a strong writer. Like when it came to me making technical notes during troubleshooting sessions or something like that, I've never been lacking in that area. And so this was, a role where I was able to, read a lot, but also, write. And I realized that some people who are very technically inclined, they're used to being hands-on, and they're not really interested in doing paperwork. And so it kind of helped bring together, things that I really enjoy doing, which is going to be reading, writing, and technical stuff. And so I didn't set out to be in GRC, right? Governance, risk, and compliance. Today I work as a CIP auditor. That's critical infrastructure protection. The compliance is NERC CIP, NERC CIP, and pretty much all the electric companies throughout the United States and Canada, they have to comply. I specifically deal with the cybersecurity elements of it. There are OT assets within that scope as well. I wouldn't change absolutely anything. I've always taken the approach that if I don't know what move to make, I'm going to make a solid, positive move. I had no idea that earning, certain credentials were going to get me, to where I am now. I just knew that earning that credential was within the realm of where I wanted to be. And that would have been, like a telecom, network engineering type of stuff, right? Dealing with routers and switches and all of that. And that's the thing that I can say about opportunity. Like good opportunities don't come often. And so, to like deny myself an opportunity because I say, hey, this doesn't align with what I really want. Like I go through an assessment and I'm looking to evaluate, can I do both, right? Like me taking on this unexpected, opportunity, is that going to prevent me from getting to where I ultimately want to be? And, I'm happy that I got the opportunity to be where I am today. So one of the qualities that sets one apart when it comes to IT audit is you have to be technically competent. Because if I'm getting evidence, I'm reviewing evidence, I need to know what I'm looking at a intimate level. If I'm interviewing an SME, a subject matter expert, I have to ask the right questions because people get prepped before audits. And one of the, common prepping advisories is only answer the questions you've been asked. Don't volunteer information. And so if I'm asking about a certain system, about a certain report that I'm taking a look at or something like that, it really helps because, I understand the system as deeply as they do, right? For the purposes of our type of compliance. The other thing that I would suggest is, all of the technical compliance frameworks are built up on controls. It's all about controls. And so understanding what a control is and, how to effect that control within an environment. And so that's going to take us back to knowing, deeply technologies, right? Because if I know that a firewall can have the GUI, the graphical user interface disabled, and, you can only use CLI, right? That might be a type of control that's required by a standard, right? So that's the advice that I would give. And when it comes to preparing yourself for a career in technology, right? It's okay to start with the basics because a mastery of the basics is going to serve you well for the rest of your career. It's very easy to identify those who skipped the basics. I can be reached on social media, Jermaine Green. If you have any questions, anything I can help with, please feel free to reach out. Please connect with me. And thanks so much.